My name is Leah Goldstein. I made aliyah 27 years ago from London with a 1.5-year-old son who is now 28. He was a combat officer and is now back in Miluim. He's stationed on the Gaza border right now. My youngest just finished her service in the summer and she's back in Miluim on her Air Force base.
My name is Nechama Konigsberg. Made aliyah 5 years ago to Modi'in from New Jersey. At the time, my son was in 10th grade. He drafted in February and is serving in a unit called Matpash, which is government affairs with the occupied territories.
My name is Eliza Ramon. My husband and I just made aliyah 3 weeks ago. We're very excited to be here. We made aliyah from Los Angeles, and we have our two youngest are serving in the IDF. My son is in Handasa Kravit, which is combat engineering, and my daughter Anat is in Isuf Kravi, which is combat field intelligence.
I actually said, even though we'd been in Israel for about 16 years, it was only when he was in the army that I really felt part of the greater community in Israel, being a mother of a soldier.
Making aliyah is a lifelong dream. I think the fact that we have two kids who made aliyah and joined the IDF, that was a big incentive for us to be here as well. Coming here now, we had our plans and we weren't going to change them because of evil people.
When we made aliyah, I didn't know how I would handle the Army in general as a parent. He's such a trooper and he's so strong that it definitely helps me be stronger.
We raised our children very Zionistically, so we put the idea of being in the Army in their heads from young. The fact that he came around to it on his own, very proud that he chose to pursue that.
I think obviously, like everybody, you know, the shock of what happened on Simchat Torah on October 7th. My son was called up immediately that day, and we only obviously found out after Shabbat because we observe Shabbat. I have to say that all my children give me tremendous strength in that they are so positive and secure, and I tell them every day how proud I am of them and of what they're doing for our country and our people. I try and look at the greater picture as well, and not only about how it's affecting me and my family, but what this means for us as a people.
Simchat Torah, he was in yeshiva. He didn't get called up, but he ended up doing shmirah for his yeshiva all day. I worry the most when he's headed to base and home from base, because when he's on his base, I feel like he's with his people. So I think initially it was really hard for me to send him back to base, and there were definitely a lot of tears. And then unfortunately, as it prolongs, we sort of get used to this is his routine now, this is what he does, and we're just grateful when he is able to come home for Shabbat. He's just so brave, and we're so proud of him. And yeah.
First challenge I can think of is the fact that we were so far away. We were just not knowing anything. Were they in, were they not in, what was going on? Where were they when this all happened? A lot of people decided to delay their aliyah or delay trips to Israel. We felt like we couldn't come fast enough. This wanting to be close to them was a very, very strong pull.
I was nervous that coming here would bring back some of the anxiety and the emotions that I've been feeling. Obviously, they're not very deep beneath the surface, they're still there. But I have to say that all three speakers were phenomenal. They gave me, not only emotionally, but some very practical tools about how to deal with those moments where I do feel like the ground is shaking beneath me, and how I can like recenter myself and continue living my normal life. This is what one of the speakers said. While our children are fighting on the front lines and behind the front lines, the most important thing that we can do is continue our lives, because that is the strongest sign that we are resilient and we will get through this. Really happy that I came this evening. I felt I got a lot of emotional, spiritual, and also very practical tips and support about how to get through this. I plan to carry those through with me and keep going.
All three speakers were really insightful and gave a lot of good practical tips as well as just theoretical things to think about. I really appreciate Paula giving us practical things to say to our children when they call. They need that connection. We need that connection. And I think it just keeps everybody on both sides strong.
So I think it's just nice to have events for mothers of Chayalim. So many of the teachers at my work have sons who are really on the front lines, but it made me realize that I need these opportunities for myself. And it's part of what they discussed tonight was a lot of we're doing so much and there's a lot of stress. And I think just taking the time for myself to be with other people who are in a similar situation to me, to hear from someone like Racheli Frankel, who lost a child, or from someone like Paula Stern, who runs the Anglo group for IDF parents, just helps give you chizuk to move on with your next week and continue on.